Well, if you've been watching Come Home any amount of time, you know that this is one of my favorite topics. It just makes my spirit come alive. I thought I've been blessed to be to Israel, this many, you know, but my guest today, she's been over 100 times. She's been so many times she can't even count, which that is absolutely amazing. She has definitely said yes and embraced this kingdom calling. And because of her obedience, there are an uncountable amount of people that have been able to experience the land, become educated on the land, pray for the land, develop a passion and a love. And I just want to thank you so much for your life's work, Dr. Susan Michael. Thank you for being
Oh,
here today.
Jen, it is so wonderful to be with you. What a blessing. So
Oh,
thank you.
I feel so honored, and I so admire what you've done and what you've given, and just the fire that you are lighting and the trail that you have blazed, and the way you're equipping the body in something that they don't really or haven't really been able to get just from a local church.
Yes, well, it's my passion because I know how Israel changed my
Yeah.
life, and I want others to have that same life changing experience.
So you were with IC International Christian Embassy, Jerusalem, ICEJ. You were there on opening day. So from the very genesis, you were there. You're a young college student. You're still so young and vibrant and beautiful. Now you're just upper graduate, right?
Yes.
So tell us about the beginnings.
Well, it all started when the year I was 16 going on 17 when I gave my life to the Lord. And I said, I'll go anywhere you want me to go, and I'll go do whatever you want me to do. And I really didn't think it was going to take me beyond my hometown. But what a surprise. He took me up on it. And when it was time to go to college, I decided to study the Bible. I wanted to get a major in biblical studies because I wanted to have a firm foundation in my life. And I loved the Bible. I was reading it every day. I didn't understand most of it, but the words would just jump off the page into my heart. And the Lord used it to guide me. And so I go to college. Now I'm reading the Bible every day, but also learning how to read the Bible and the doctrines of the Bible. None of that prepared me for what happened at the age of 19, a summer study program in Israel. And I go for 5 weeks, and my Bible just came alive.
Yeah.
It took on flesh and bones
Yeah.
and stood up because it was real places and real people, and I was surrounded by it. And I was surrounded by prophecy fulfilled.
Yes.
And that changed my life. So as soon as I finished my bachelor's degree in the United States, I returned to Jerusalem to study more.
Yeah.
And I had just arrived, and 1 month later was the very first Feast of Tabernacle celebration, and that's when they announced the opening of the International Christian Embassy, Jerusalem, and I was just there.
Wow. So the Lord just knew how to position you and
Well, it was his perfect timing.
Yeah.
I knew nothing.
Right.
I was just being led along, but because of the school I went to, the director of the school became the founding chairman of the board of the ICEJ. They birthed the first very Feast of Tabernacles. And so I just happened to be there, but also I was part of a little prayer group, and we continued to meet every week and pray through the birthing of the ICEJ from the inside, the administrative, the financial, the decisions that needed to be made. And so when I finished my master's degree in Jerusalem, I returned to the United States on their behalf and moved to Washington, D.C. I was still too young
Yeah.
to start an office or to start a branch, but I wanted to get in place. I wanted to be a part of the work here in the United States, and was there in DC for 30 years. And so
Wow.
my entire adult life has gone to this ministry and to the cause of Israel and of the Bible, that you don't understand the Bible until you understand Israel. It's all connected.
Well, Susan, your work is iconic and legendary, and you really have paved the way and created such an opportunity for others to come behind you and learn and grow. You have a website, answerstoisrael.com. That's wonderful. The ICEJUSA.com has so many resources. Your books are on there, and seminars you do, and curriculums, and how to get you to speak, and the galas, and the trips, the Feast of Tabernacles. It's all there. So I just want anyone throughout this interview to make sure that you go on that website. I do want us to talk about the book, the Encountering the 3D Bible, because I had a similar experience. But before we talk about that, let's look at these two spots that will show you a little bit about what Dr. Susan is doing in ICEJ.
Israel. It is the heart of the Middle East, the most important country in all of human history, and the single most influential place that's impacted your life. It was the home of the prophets, the location that once held the Holy of Holies. The connection between this land and your heart is undeniable, but you can also be a blessing to this nation by partnering with the International Christian Embassy Jerusalem. Since 1980, ICEJ has been the direct connection to the land of Israel for Christians all around the world, integrating new immigrants, supporting minorities, mentoring youth at risk, and have actively helped 150,000 Jews come home to Israel. And with a reach of over 170 nations, the International Christian Embassy Jerusalem has become a leading voice of Christian support and friendship to the Jewish people. So get involved and be a blessing to the nation and the people of Israel.
Hi, I'm Susan Michael with the International Christian Embassy Jerusalem, and this is your invitation to join us and a host of Christian organizations to celebrate Israel's 75th anniversary. We're planning 2 gala dinners, one in Nashville, Tennessee on May the 7th, the other in Washington, D.C. on May the 17th. They have world-class musicians, award-winning artists, amazing keynote speakers. It's going to be a fun and great celebration. So we want to see you there. For more information, go to icejUSA.org/Israel75. Come out and celebrate the miracle of Israel on her 75th anniversary.
75 years. What a miracle. What a miracle. I was there for the 70th, and that was so special. And so here we are at 75.
You were in Israel in the 70s, so you were there the day the United States Embassy opened in Jerusalem.
What Bible prophecy fulfilled.
Yes.
What a miracle. Such excitement during that time. Such
We were
joy.
back in Washington, D.C. celebrating it from afar, but we did the satellite hookup
The feed.
to the ceremony there at the U.S. Embassy. It was a very exciting day.
It was. When there's things in our life that are very significant, that's one, I think, for both of us that we'll always remember. Powerful. And especially you spending 35 years and then serving 30 years in D.C. and continuing on now for another 10. That must have been so fulfilling that the things you've prayed about manifest.
Well, it's been fulfilling. It's a pioneering work, and that can also be very difficult at times.
Yeah.
The birth of the International Christian Embassy in 1980, we knew it was like the beginning of a whole new era of Jewish-Christian relations, because they had been very bad for 2,000 years.
That's right.
And we actually have a history in the Christian church history of Christian anti-Semitism, of teaching contempt against the Jewish people, and actually paving the way for their persecution and discrimination. And so we were coming forward from the newborn state of Israel in the heart of Jerusalem, saying, we are Christians from around the world, and we are Bible-based Christians. We love you, we support you, we stand with you. And we were met with skepticism at first. like, do you really love us?
Right.
But we've been there now 42 years, just showing up every day, just continuing to love, continuing to bless and assist. And it has really knocked down a lot of walls between Jews and Christians. And then we have a presence in 90 countries of the world. So we're
Wow.
out in the nations doing the same thing with the Jewish community in our country, with the churches in our countries, teaching, educating, but building that relationship. It's a whole new day. And I am so glad, for one, to have been born into this generation.
Yes.
We get to see all of this prophecy fulfilled.
We're so
We
blessed.
get to be a part of that generation that says, no, 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 we love you.
Yeah.
Jesus brings love in our heart. We love you.
Yeah.
What a privilege.